think you should, yeah.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Whoscussion. For part B, again, we're going to be covering the 6th Doctor adventure Jubilee, following it up with the 8th Doctor short trip Flashpoint. Jubilee, Harry Skelly, take us away.
Alright, so, as we're, this is Dalek, but better, so, yeah. that's it, there you go, done. No, anyway.
Let's move on to Flashpoint.
Anyway, so, actually, take this up. So, good old 6th Doctor and his companion at the time, Evelyn, who I'm guessing is in between Perry and
Mel.
And Mel, yeah. In that time where he, at the time when he wasn't pulled out for the trial, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he has to return Mel back to her own time stream so that he can meet her in the future.
Yeah, so there's a whole lot of stuff in between him actually getting with Mel and him. Yeah. Anyway, so good old. We start off with a fantastic rendition of like a movie trailer of the Doctor versus the Daleks, and I'm just like, what exactly is going on?
Bro, the cold open, right? It's so crazy.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I was sort of just like, am I like? What am I hearing? Is this a piss take or something, or is this like really what's happening right now? Turns out it was like an in canon movie trailer that was also kind of taking the piss out of how the Doctor and the Daleks have like been like taken away. It's pretty good. It's really funny and interesting when you look at it like that. But anyway, so then we get the Doctor and Evelyn trying to land on Earth somewhere near the Tower of London, basically. But something goes awry. The TARDIS doesn't want to land, and then ends up being like cut away by a split in time, where it ends up materializing in two different parts of time at once. Which the Doctor doesn't realize this at first, but that seems to be the case anyway. More about that later. The Doctor and Evelyn find that they're near the Tower of London, 2003, and you know, stuff's going down just casually. Then they're like, okay, cool, Tower of London, interesting. And then the Doctor hears a scream, and they go to investigate, and it's a Dalek that's not having a good time, basically being a bit tortured. Doctor's like, this is quite interesting. Hey, I'm the Doctor, what's going on here? And the soldiers are all like, okay, you're the Doctor, I see. All right, well, we're going to take you to the president. The president? President of what? President of the British Empire. Dun, dun, dun.
The Doctor's like, the what?
Yeah, that's basically it. So the president of the British Empire is a crazy man with a crazy wife, just crazy stuff.
They are both right so crazy.
It is intense crazy going on right now. But anyway, so the Doctor introduces himself, blah blah blah. They exchange a few words, and basically the president doesn't seem to believe that this guy that he's the Doctor. Like asks him like, where's the guy? How did you find out about the coat? And it's like, this is my coat. What are you talking about? I'm like, no, you must have found out about the coat because you can't be really the Doctor, all that sort of stuff. And then takes him into where the Dalek is being held to try and figure out if he really is the Doctor or not. And immediately, immediately the Dalek realizes that it's the Doctor, and it's all. They have the 9. Reaction from Dalek, basically. They have the 6th Doctor's not too happy about him being, at least he doesn't try to like straight up attack the Dalek, but he still laughs at the fact that it's helpless, all that sort of stuff. It's pretty solid 6th Doctor anyway.
It's so 6, like there's encapsulates him perfectly.
Yeah. So President takes him out, recognizes that he's actually really the Doctor, and tries to be okay with this. There's this real weird underlying thing going on with like female rights as well in here.
Yeah,
like the president is like treating his wife like a 50s wife. It's really weird.
It's because in 1903 history changed quite a bit, and so the suffrage movement never happens. Yeah, because of what happens after the Dalek invasion. So it's understandable, but it's really uncomfortable hearing what's going on. It's very weird. Especially if Evelyn's like, what the hell is going on? And the wife's like, you're not acting like a woman, darling.
It is definitely an interesting aspect. But yeah, so Doctor and Evelyn go about figuring out what's going on here. The Doctor is having some visions of the previous thing that happened back in the 1990s, or 1903, when the Daleks first invaded, because he realizes pretty quickly that he's actually materialized in both places, and his other version of himself has allowed this to happen. Basically, has saved the world from the Daleks, but in effect made them even worse than the Daleks. And yeah, he's having a hard time dealing with that. Follows along with the president, he has a whole bunch of alien artifacts, but are actually Dalek artifacts, which is nice. None of those crazy masks things. Anyway, two shot masks, not this time. Actual Dalek. But anyway, so the president takes him away in his spaceship and like gets out of the city limits, blows up the spaceship as a crazy man. He is utterly bat crazy. Like, wow. He like tries to tell the Doctor that like the Dalek has been like mind controlling everyone, turning everyone evil, and he's been imitating being evil so that he can try something, but he's actually a really good guy. And the Doctor's just like, you are insane. It's crazy. In the meanwhile, Evelyn's gone down to talk to the Dalek, basically becomes best mates with the Dalek in some way. It's really weird.
The conversation between Evelyn and the Dalek is some of the greatest writing I've heard, man.
Really is.
That conversation is a work of art.
It really is. There's just this, there's this resonance that they have. It's really something that you need to like listen to fully experience and understand. It's really good. But anyway, so she talks with the Dalek because she's been brought down by the wife of the president and her lover, I guess.
Quotation marks, question mark.
Lover, question mark. Anyway, who's trying to help her overthrow the president as well. They are trying to get the Dalek to help them overthrow the president, all that sort of stuff. Just a whole lot of really weird things going on. But she is also really crazy, as she's like pretending to be stupid, but like she also like believes that she's stupid as well. It's really weird. It's got some seriously weird vibes in there. So the Doctor and the president come back. Meanwhile, Evelyn finds out the person that they've been keeping in the Tower of London, who like this is like several parts of the story, right? So it's not all two and a half hours long. It's actually like several bits and pieces of story, 4 episodes in total. At the end of one episode, just as Evelyn's like going to go meet this person and they've got in the tower, she says, it's the creator of the Daleks in of the thing, and you're like, okay, so it's like Davros is there. Oh, cool, that's pretty crazy. And then it turns out it's the other Doctor from the past who's been living there. It's like, whoa, okay, man. But and you're like, okay, so it's not really the creator of the Daleks. I mean, kind of in a sense he is, but at the same time he's not. But he's gone crazy from being locked in the tower for 100 years and having to watch Evelyn die of starvation. His Evelyn die of starvation with him. He's gone totally.
He didn't just watch her die. It's explained that he watches her rot until she's bones.
Yeah, he watches her turn to bones as well. So he doesn't have a really good time. He had his legs cut off because he tried to escape. He's not doing too well.
No.
and then in trying to get the Dalek to help them, he wants to see the Doctor, so they show him this Doctor with his legs cut off, who the Dalek was trying to get orders out of somebody and believes that the Doctor in this state is the only one who understands the Daleks enough to give him orders. And the Doctor laughs in his face and refuses, basically, like proper crazy, like war Doctor.
Yeah, and you know what's amazing? The laugh that he does is Davros's laugh.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. It's pure unadulterated Doctor who really is. And he refuses to give him orders, and the Dalek kills him, proper kills him, like no regeneration, nada. So yeah, it's pretty intense. So then the current Doctor and the President have finally got back, and they're ready to do their Jubilee, which is a celebration of their defeat over the Daleks. This is apparently going to be the 50th Jubilee, where they're going to explode a Dalek. This seems like a pretty good 50th. Just to celebrate
your history. It's crazy.
Celebrate your history. Yeah. Anyway, so the Doctor the current Doctor is being brought to what's the word? To celebrate this Jubilee. He gives a speech. He does this like fantastic Doctor speech. It's really beautiful. Where he talks about tyranny, all that sort of stuff, and then it's basically like, I wasn't talking about the Daleks. I was talking about you guys. You're crazy. And
the audience is like, you what, mate?
Yeah, basically. And then all craziness breaks loose. The other Daleks here, and the president's wife tries to overthrow the current president, and then time finally reasserts itself, and the actual invasion starts to happen.
But the invasion happens like in 2003 now, because the TARDIS is like, hey, I brought some of the ships along. The Doctor's like, thanks, basically. TARDIS, thank you.
Well, it's more like that the existence of both time, the existence of the time split created by him being in both places, which causes him to be in both places. Anyway, it's a lot of stuff there. Causes the Daleks to arrive in both times, which it makes them arrive in both times again. Just it's a big paradox anyway. And the singular Dalek that survived for the 100 years in between those two times is basically like, don't kill Evelyn or the Doctor. I want to help you guys. And they're like, whoa, you're like disobeying orders. What is this? And he's like, I have information that can save the Dalek race. So it's all good, guys. Just let me save you. It's all cool. And they're like, all right, sweet. We'll take you on to aboard the spaceship and show you the Supreme Dalek. The Doctor and Evelyn go up with him. The Dalek goes and tries to ends up talking to the Supreme Dalek, tells him that he's got this information. The Supreme Dalek is like, I can't trust you because you're also treasonous.
And clearly insane.
And clearly insane. He's like, yes, I'm insane, but I have information that can save the Daleks. And he's like, all right, sweet. Go and kill Evelyn and we'll be all good. And he's like, I can't really do that, actually, because and Supreme Dalek's like, well, you're unreliable then. I'm just gonna kill him then. And he's like, no, I can't let you do that. I'm gonna stop you. And the Supreme Dalek's like, you can't stop me. You're gonna obey me. You're Dalek. And he's like, no, destroys the Supreme Dalek because he's crazy now. And the Doctor talks him into using the mate thread. I don't know what they really call it. I guess just he goes on a loudspeaker and basically talks to all the Daleks and tells them that the only way for Daleks to be supreme is if they're not supreme. The only way for them to be successful is if they fail. The only way for them to survive is if they die. Because he is like crazed by the fact that humans like turn themselves inside out once they've finished conquering Earth, and he couldn't comprehend. The Doctor asked him a basic question: is once you've actually conquered the universe, what do you do? And then he's like, I don't know. Like, well, look at what happens to the humans once they conquer the Earth. They started destroying themselves. So what are Daleks going to do when they conquer the universe? And he's like, oh, once we've conquered the universe, we're just going to fight each other.
Yeah.
All right. Suicide. Everyone, blow themselves up. And they do. Daleks all blow themselves up. And then the Dalek's like, I'm the last one left again. I've killed my own kind. You know, kind of like the War Doctor here. It's getting real good.
Robert Sherman's like, well, this is going to go down well.
Robert Sherman did a really good job with this. Really did. But anyway, the ending of this is basically the Dalek's like, kill me. My self-destruct mechanism has been taken from me, so I can't self-destruct. I need you to kill me. Evelyn, can you take my gun out and shoot me? And Evelyn's like, I actually can't do that. The Doctor's like, I'll totally do it. Here you go, boom. Yeah, done. Easy. 6 is like, and
I'm 6, by the way. Pleased to meet you.
Yeah. And then time resets itself, and none of that happened, except apparently it kind of does for everyone's memories, which is very like, it's very Donnie Darko.
Right, yeah.
Of that, where like the tangent universe, once it resets itself with actual time, that the memory of it is left imprinted in people's brains, where they don't like fully remember it, but they know that it happened. Yeah, and then like they get out at the Tower of London in 2003, when it actually when the Daleks did invade, sort of deal, proper universe stuff, and there's the president and his wife, who like partially remember what's going on.
Especially Nigel. Doctor, am I a good man?
Yeah, and am I going to be a good man now, Doctor? And he's like, you can try. You're still crazy though. Holy crap. And he's like just like suffered like a heart attack, because in the actual universe his wife totally stabbed him in the heart because she wanted to like get in with the Daleks again, and they shot her for it.
Yeah.
It's a time. It's a time indeed.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I'm the leader. We were told to kill the leader. You guys probably should have told me that before I killed my husband.
So yeah, that was Jubilee. It was a time. It really was a time. And as I said before in Part A, there's a whole lot of this that they took out and put into Dalek that were fantastic parts, but it still could not even get close to how good Jubilee was. And honestly, Dalek is a shadow of what Jubilee is. It really is. Like, it's like not even like a full shadow. Like, you think of like Jubilee as like the light caster here, and Dalek is Pluto compared to what Jubilee is. Like, it's not even close. Like 2.5 hours of fantastic sci-fi with 6th Doctor, Evelyn, Daleks, and crazy human beings. It's superb. Like, it's like Blade Runner of its time.
Yeah. I love the propaganda where the Doctor and Evelyn are like really hot.
Yeah.
Like they're like the ideally.
Oh yeah, like the ideal human beings. Like he's like muscly and like he's not wearing a crazy jacket, and Evelyn's like this, like she's like the Bond girl as well. It's pretty good.
And it's just like, and I love that. But never fear, the Doctor is on hand to sort them out. Defender of the Earth, savior of us all, with his beautiful assistant, Evelyn Smythe. And she's like, Doctor, she's gotta go.
She's got like a sexy middle name as well.
Yeah.
They've given her. It's perfect.
And it was just like, don't forget to watch it this summer. The Doctor versus the Daleks.
And then, like, at the end, it's like, you will be forced to watch this by this historical society of the British Empire.
So it's legal watching.
So good.
The propaganda is fantastic. And, like, there's so much in the story that, like, even though we've told you about what happens, there's still so much to discover. I think
there's so many bits and pieces of
his like, toy room is the creepiest thing. It's so creepy.
Like, he's ordered other countries of the world to give them soldiers that are dwarves to be put inside Dalek casings and become his toys. Take that in for a little bit.
Yeah, and the doctor's just like, you're actually insane. It's like, no, I've told you before, doctor, the Dalek's making me crazy. He's like, no. No, I know they're evil, but that's something else, man. That's something else. You might want to get that looked at. It is. I know I changed this a lot, you know. I'm a bit of a flip-flop when it comes to Big Finish, but I think so far this is my favorite Big Finish story we've done.
Yeah.
Like, it's right there with Scherzo for me, like.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely my favorite Sixth Doctor story.
Yeah, right? It's
absolutely it for me.
Big Finish and 6 are such a good mix. I didn't mean to rhyme, sorry guys. That was an accident.
And but, I mean, like, this is obviously my first story with Evelyn as well, and she is very much the archaeologist part of River Song. She's when Moffat created River Song, he was like, let's take Evelyn and put her in with a bunch of other companions.
Yeah, Evelyn, Bernice, just smash them together. We've got River. Yeah. And I love, like, Evelyn's, like, no-nonsense. She's very no-nonsense. And, like, 6 needs that. Yeah, 6 needs a no-nonsense companion. Like, Perry was strong-willed, but Evelyn's something else, man. And she better not get a Perry ending, because I will not be happy with you, Big Finish. Like, for real.
What about a Charlie ending?
Come on, man. Put your salt away and stop putting it on my wound. Like, I can't ever get around that. Like, Charlie, I love Charlie, man.
Yeah.
She had a hybrid with the Doctor, and he didn't freak out about it.
No, he did. You know.
Oh yeah, actually, because that guy literally ate galaxies. Like, that's a real thing he could do. But yeah, you guys have to listen to Jubilee. Like, that's homework. Like, you know, but don't think of it as homework. Think of it as like a Christmas present to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
it is definitely a Christmas present.
Yeah, just wow. It's only $3. So that's $1.50 for American audiences, and what's that? 50p for you guys in Britain. As part of the actually no, I take that back. It's 99p.
Wow.
In the UK.
It is seriously a fantastic sci-fi story.
Yeah, so
it is long enough to be made an actual feature-length film, and it feels like one. It is.
Yeah.
It is. There are a whole lot of previous Classic Who stories that are like this long, obviously, but this one feels like it could like be on the silver screen. Like it is. It would fit in very well for just being a movie. Like, it's really good. It's really good.
The one thing I would love is a what-if story. And, you know, imagine if the Tower of London 6 regenerated. Could you imagine that in version of 7, man?
Oh, yeah.
Imagine how scary that version of 7 would be. Like, I would have literal IRL nightmares about that incarnation of 7.
I think there should definitely be like an episode of like what that Doctor went through, the Sixth Doctor that went through the other side of the coin, like his experience of fighting the war to the point where like it was clearly like a devastating war, like to have that effect on human beings long after the case, and the fact that they like treat him as a savior. Like, he must have gone full war Doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
On Earth instead, and then have his legs cut off and have to watch his companion wither die and then wither some more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That spot there, that's where Evelyn used to sit before they took her bones away. And I'm just like, and Evelyn's just like, please don't tell me that's how I died, crazy Doctor. Thank you.
Yep. That's how you died. And then she has to remember that too once the universe comes back together as well.
Yeah, she'll remember like suffering. Whoa, that's crazy, man. But like if the Dalek hadn't killed him to the point of not coming back, that version of 6 regenerating to 7 would be frightening.
Yeah. That 7 would almost be as close as 8 got in the war.
Yeah. Yes.
Actually, probably would be like just straight up, just like skips McCoy, turns into McGann, just like I'm war crazy now.
I'm gonna go fight the enemy. What's that they're from? Read the novels. But yeah, guys, there is so much more in Jubilee that we like haven't talked about, and you just need to pick it up. This is an experience. Like, I felt bad listening to how good this is because I realized that I just had to watch Dalek.
Yep.
And it's nowhere near as good. And it's frustrating because I love Dalek. I have such fond memories of Dalek because it really got me invested in the new Who run after the letdown that was everything leading up to it. And
and the episode after.
Yeah, exactly. And so like Dalek, I was like, wow, and I have this huge nostalgia for it. And then I listened to the story it was based on. I was like, wow, you are a shell.
Yeah, you are the distant shadow. Like, the shadow casted by something far in the distance of this. Like, there's just only the tiniest fraction of Jubilee in Dalek, and it still gives it such vibrance. Like the tiniest piece of Jubilee was taken and put into Dalek, and it still made it like as bright as it did. Like that's how fantastically amazing Jubilee is.
Yeah, it is. There is no descriptive narrative, but for some reason I could see the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially
you can feel it. You can feel it so much. Like the craziness of the humans in the story just makes you feel it even more. Like you feel like at any point that could be you, and it's terrifying.
Oh man, Miriam was the one that made me feel the most uncomfortable.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Her long game was crazy, man. Like, whoa. So we're going to jump from Jubilee, which again, by the way, pick that up, guys. It's in the 99p range. So, so it's 99p, 99 cents American, 99 cents New Zealand. So that's actually really cheap.
Yeah, considering a movie ticket to see Blade Runner 2049 was like $18. Come on.
Exactly. So Flashpoint is a short trip that features prominently Lucy Miller. Though it's 8's on the front cover, I really feel like Lucy should have been on the front cover of this. I know that's not really the MO of the short trips, but this is Lucy's story. Lucy is taken by the Doctor to an observation deck to go down and look at a famous storm world called Cerberin. This is Sheridan Smith's first time I've heard her do a short trip. I think it's the only short trip she's done. This is done many years after she was Lucy, and you can actually hear she's aged since then, which is fair enough. We all age, but I think for some reason it adds a lot of gravitas to her narrative performance, and I really liked that, bringing her on 10 years after she left the role. It's wonderful. She is with the Doctor. They're looking down, and this young boy ends up bumping into her, and these gangsters, these bodyguards of his, all turn their guns on Lucy, like, back away from the kid. And Lucy's like, yo, look, I'm just checking if he was alright. Lucy hangs out with this child. The child's, I can't remember the child's name, and it's not on the website. Thanks, Tarsbook here. But there's a young fella with them who is the heir to a big, huge family's inheritance. Lucy is with him when the observation deck is attacked by these thugs. The thugs are wearing this covered in these tattoos, basically, and they come in, their guns blazing, and Lucy helps the boy into a safety pod, and they end up falling down to earth without the Doctor. So Lucy's by herself, and so this story becomes completely Lucy centric, and it's fantastic. She ends up trying to survive on this lightning planet. This gentleman that they meet, I can't remember his name for the life of me, but they meet this gentleman with a suit that's able to absorb. Basically, it acts as like a what do they call them? What's the stick you put on the top of your house so lightning goes to that?
Lightning rod.
Lightning rod. There we go. So he's got this lightning rod suit so that the lightning will only hit him and doesn't hit Lucy or the boy. The fella talks about how he came to this planet to get away from people. Generally people aren't here, but you guys have come and kind of ruined my bliss. And Lucy's like, I'm Lucy Bleeding Miller, and he's like, that's kind of my point. And which is great because like Lucy in this situation is fantastic. And the gentleman, whilst he's helping them get around to his safe haven, he manages to damage part of his suit. And in damaging the suit, the boy sees that he's got the tattoo that the gangsters wore. And he runs away and gets hit by lightning. Lucy was, throughout the story, had found out from the boy that he is the last survivor of his family getting wiped out.
No, it's more like, so his father is a judge that's trying to take hard.
Oh, no, right, yes, that's right.
And his mother was attacked and barely survived. And that's why they're like, oh, I'm probably next. I don't want to die.
Yeah. So he's definitely next. So he had those guards with him to protect him, but they're all dead on the observation deck. They're super not alive. And so Lucy ends up going off to help the boy, but she's given the suit, and she goes off and goes and collects the boy. He's getting lightning shocked, and she's like, "This is kind of scary, but it's alright. I'm alive, and it's not hurting the boy, so this is all good." And then they get back to the safe haven. One of the gangsters turns up in the safe haven and kills the guy that's been helping them. And Lucy just sees him die, and she just looks at the other guy, puts the boy on the table, and unleashes the energy from the suit and fries the crap out of the guy that killed the gentleman that was helping them. And she really doesn't know how to handle that, because she cooked this guy. And as Sheridan Smith's quite descriptive with how the death takes place and how it affects Lucy. And then the doctor turns up and is like, "Hey, sorry I wasn't here early enough to stop you from being a murderer." And she just talks to the doctor about how it made her feel. And the boy goes off, and that's the end of Flashpoint. I really enjoyed this. It's amazing hearing Sheridan Smith reading one of these audio adventures, especially the short trip range. Short trips, I mean, this one was definitely a day in the life, but this time it was for Lucy. And it's just something about the change in the performance Sheridan gives straight after the kill that leads there to be a lot more gravity to the short trip itself. It's good. I think it's very well written. It was written by Andrew Smith. Has written a few other things. Directed by Lisa Bowerman, who's Bernice Summerfield. And it's fantastic. I thoroughly suggest picking this one up. What were your thoughts on Flashpoint there, Harry Scully?
It was definitely very interesting. I like the Lucy story. Lucy by herself is an interesting character, as well. She's not to be left behind as just another one of those companions. She has her own agency, and she's this shows it even more that she's an individual and cannot be grouped with the likes of any other. She does her own things, and the fact that she takes as much care as she can, and even gets to the point of knowing what she must do and doing it is definitely says something for her character. It's I'm sure a lot of other companions still wouldn't have been able to do that final thing.
Because she does it and almost reactionarily.
Exactly.
She's just like boy safe place lightning.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, I think this is probably one of the better adventures with Lucy in this run. We're about to get even more amazing with the next story.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, things are about to really pick up. But yeah, I would suggest this one, guys, and definitely pick it up. And with that, we'll bring this episode of Whoscussion to a close. Again, we are not affiliated with Big Finish, but Gary Russell, just waiting on that email, man. Just flick it my way, and we'll catch you guys. Actually, are we going to do it next week, or we're going to take it off because it is Christmas?
Well, it's not Christmas on Saturday.
Oh, right. Okay, that's a good point. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Catch you later.